Welcome to the Southeast Retirement Planners Podcast, where we will go beyond the balance sheet with our guests, not only to share from our personal experience as financial advisors of over 25 plus years, but also to learn from our guests about the issues and topics that are important to them. Our firm specializes in taking care of the financial plans for individuals and small businesses by helping our clients identify their individual goals and taking a conservative and ongoing approach to helping accomplish them. We are located in Hickory, North Carolina, and look forward to continuing to serve our clients and our community. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy this week's episode.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Southeast Retirement Planners Podcast. I am Ryan Edwards and my partner Les Stewart are here today, and we would like to welcome you to this time together. It's going to be exciting. Today's topic is what money lies are you buying into? And we'll cover into that, but we've been pretty busy at the office here in the spring as we do this. And I know today's your first baseball game, a big day in the Stewart household.
Yeah, my son's playing his first baseball game in about 12 or 14 months. Excited that he's able to get out and do it, and the weather's great, and so life is good. Yeah. And I know you've been out with your family doing some different activities and got a lot of golf lately.
Yeah,
right?
The golf. The boys are playing golf, and we've had good weather for it. I've gotten to follow them around and actually pick up my club some, so it's been nice. I hope to continue it.
Enjoy it until they start beating you in about a year from now.
That's not much. That's not far away. The drives are getting longer for them and shorter for me. So, so good deal. Well, let's we want to make the most of our time together, but we do see this as a topic that is something we see quite a bit, and probably something we've fallen fault to at time too as well. But there's several that we want to cover today. But once again, what money lies are you buying into is today's, and we've got four we're going to really spend some time on. Is I deserve it, regardless of whether I can afford it. Another one is I have strong financial willpower. Another one would be I'll save more later, and there's good debt and bad debt. So we'll dive into the first one. I know that's there's more than that,
so,
right?
What led us to do this was we just put out a newsletter online. It's on our Facebook page and Twitter page. Right. You can go there. It'll be there for the next 30 days. You can find it and get this in paper form and get a little more detail on it. You just have to sign up on the newsletter.
Yeah, just register to view it, right?
Register to view it, and you'll have access to it and get our future newsletters as well. So go to Southeast Retirement Planners Facebook page or Twitter page and get going with it. Yeah. But, so I deserve it regardless of whether I can afford it,
Yeah, we heard I work hard and I want to treat myself. That's the mentality, I think, is what many people say when they think about that. And then another quote that you mean, I'm getting a great deal. I've heard my wife say that a few times too, but I'm getting a great deal. Yeah. It still costs money.
I think I've heard you say that, actually.
Well, that's probably true. That's probably true.
But we rationalize a lot of things to ourselves. The world out there markets to us to rationalize that we deserve it now, time. And there's a lot of truth to that. We can't, time is fleeting. Right. So, as time keeps rolling, we feel like we're losing time, and we are, but, so then we rationalize, well, I might need to take this big vacation now before my kids get too old, and before you know it, you've spent more than your budget really allows, or you lose track of your other goals. So,
one thing that we see, obviously, a lot of people that we deal with we're working with their retirement monies or money that's long term. Obviously, a lot of the money we invest as well is for short term purposes, not ultra short term, but each pool of money has its various, I guess, purposes, if you will. And one thing I see, I just want to bring up is as someone goes into retirement, it is very beneficial to either have money that one can obtain without paying. They don't have to pay tax on it to get it out. A lot of people, maybe all their savings are in their 401k or their traditional IRAs, and they may not have money in what we call non-qualified or non-IRA monies, non-retirement account monies. And if one has to make a big purchase in retirement, which they don't stop, new roofs, new car tires, new HVAC systems, or that trip you mentioned.
Right.
If you pull $1 out of retirement funds, it's not. You got a lot for taxes. You got $1 may only get you 90 cent or 80 cent or 75 cent by the time taxes come into play. But having non-retirement money or that the money held outside of retirement accounts is very beneficial for those needs.
Exactly. It's we talk about it all the time. It's not only what you invest in, but what accounts you invest in and save into. Really pays a big difference and gives you options down the road. Yeah. So it's nice to have those options for which is my favorite. When that kitchen remodel needs to happen,
we've heard that a lot, and it's certainly necessary in some cases. But if you're pulling from qualified investments, that $20,000 renovation actually probably cost you anywhere between $25,000 to $30,000, and so what is the actual cost of the renovation? Right. That's something we see. But that's a big, that's one of the big lies. Are you buying into it or not? But as we go forward, another one we see is I have strong financial willpower. Yeah, and that's one that we could maybe spend the entire session on. But the average American spends at least a couple $100 a month on impulse purchases.
That's right.
I know I've fallen fault to that. We're constantly with social media and emails. I just saw a great deal on an ice cream maker that $210. I just think I need to have.
Last night I got home. Our dishwasher wasn't working. Elisa's not very happy that the dishwasher's not working, so I go.
Did something happen to her? Did she get injured?
Disclaimer: those words of Ryan Edwards are not Les Stewart's. Considered an impulse buy when now I think about it, but it was something I felt like I had to do at that moment. But didn't really take the time to think about all my options with that. Just went and got something I thought would work, and I hope it does pay off. But it would have probably benefited me better to take a little time and think through that purchase, and I think we all fall victim to that quite a bit.
There's an interesting stat that now that 2020 is behind us, and now that we were all, I'll just kind of read from my paper here, we were spending more time and had more stress in our lives. Mm-hmm. Hopefully a lot of that stress is hopefully getting behind us associated with the unknowns of the pandemic. But, it was said that probably impulse spending shot up about 18% in 2020. I thought that's a pretty big number.
That is a big
18%
number.
Increase. And the 374 million of us who are shopping with credit cards are probably spending more on the regular than we realize. So the average credit card shopper spends about 10% more with their cards than they would with cash. So I found that interesting, obviously easy to do, and that's not even...
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, though. I mean, when you have cash, when it's gone, but that feels like that credit card has, never-ending capacity.
Right. And what's interesting, that last part of that stat is the one thing that we'll go into one of our other lies here in a second that we buy into is that's not even counting the cost of interest on the balance in which you accumulate on that card.
Yeah. Heard a lot. There's a lot of talk about the pros and cons of credit cards, and I think when used correctly, they can be really useful tools. But when it's not used correctly, it can really mess up someone's financial picture, and that's been well documented and talked about.
Right. So. Right. Well, that's something everyone's got to be kind of falls victim to. We meet with a number of people. We see that most people have that under control, but I also think the ones that probably have it under control also have faced a point in time in their life before retirement that they probably fell victim to those.
Probably right around college.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Seems like that's when we all get introduced to that.
Yeah, and that kind of bleeds into something else as we're trying to accumulate for different purposes. We fall victim to that lie. I'll save more later, and that I'll save more mentality is, actually, in fact, fewer than 1 in 6 of us are saving more than 15% of our income, and 1 in 5 aren't saving any money at all. Mm-hmm. So those are some pretty significant stats as well, and things that we all need to pay attention to. You mentioned that earlier on that each day that passes we're one day close to that retirement date.
That's right. We don't get time back.
Exactly. So most, we're all focused on what we're wanting right now, and what we tell ourselves we'll start saving for the future later. If we say anything at all, it's likely that we don't have anything possibly left over, or that's the only part that we will save. And I've heard that concept of paying yourself first.
Right.
Making it a bill. And many people work with obviously are saving, that are still working, saving towards their 401k.
Yeah.
Or their company retirement plan. So they're in essence paying themselves first.
Right. But also the biggest thing that pops in my head is the power of compound interest. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we'll probably have a whole podcast on that at some point with some charts. So we need to. Let's write that down.
Yeah, that's right.
But starting early, the turtle versus the hare story. The slow turtle that starts early is going to not only get there probably first, but going to have a lot more when it gets there.
Exactly. Those numbers are staggering. It's a good idea in the future for one. So
even if it's our advice is always, even though a lot of times we'll talk to people that retirement number that you're trying to get to seems unattainable, but it's amazing when you start chipping away at that and start doing a little bit how much difference that makes. And so that's one thing that's fun to do for clients is to help them work through that process.
And, in that accumulation phase, kind of our last one that we're going to talk about today is this one lie that we tell ourselves or buy into many times is there's such thing as good and bad debt. Mm-hmm. And, I just had some notes here is, we tend to assign a moral value to debt. Thinking of mortgages or student loans maybe as good debt, and considering credit card as bad. So, now what comes later on in both of those scenarios is something I'm going to mention here. But this money lie, basically what it does is it gets us thinking the wrong way about debt. Debt comes with some cost, and it's important that we understand that. And that cost is every loan affects our current life and our future selves, and what that means is it's found in the form of interest.
That's right.
I mean, that's what's accumulating continuously on most loans, and that makes if you do have a credit card balance, it's pretty enlightening to see that page. If you pay the minimum, how long it actually is going to your grandkids may actually be paying that debt.
Yeah, and I believe the credit card companies are required now to put that on the statement, and I've started noticing that. When we get our credit card statements, and it could be shocking if you didn't pay it off or pay it off in a
so that $3,000 purchase could turn into a significantly higher purchase.
That's right.
I mean, $3,000 could turn into $4,000 by the time you pay it easily, and that's a best case, might not best case scenario, but it's a true case scenario if you just pay the minimum.
Yeah, and I think kind of back to the good versus bad debt. I think the point is that any debt that you acquire needs to be thought about whether it's worth it, and how your plan to pay that debt off is. We're not saying that all debt is bad. I think debt being able to borrow money is very beneficial, especially in the corporate world. Provides opportunity. And
right now, with interest rates so low,
right.
Personally, that's
right. And I think what we're probably seeing is a few years ago we saw debt kind of get at an all-time low nationally. A lot of people were paying that off, but now interest rates are so low. Credit's becoming more available to people. People are in better financial condition. And I think we're probably going to see that trend increase where consumers and individuals are acquiring more debt, right. Which, eventually comes to where everybody's overloaded with debt and can't buy anything else. So there's a little lesson in economics for everybody there. But,
right. Well, the one thing that kind of comes in my mind when I think about this is when individuals say, should I take a loan out of my 401k? Mm-hmm. And most companies provide that as part or have the ability to do that. And I would just...
I'm paying myself.
Yeah,
right?
I'm paying myself. And they're going to buy a boat. Or they're going to, buy Christmas presents. A 401k or any retirement plan is for retirement, and it should be thought about. And theoretically, you're paying yourself back, but people are telling themselves that lie, and it does come in very helpful in certain scenarios that are dire or trying to put kids for sometimes college or first-time home purchase, something like that. But even then, it's other ways that should be looked at.
Right. There's oftentimes another solution.
Exactly. So I'm not here to promote or anything. It's just that's a lie that's often told that people tell themselves because they, you are paying yourselves back, but they are, but that money isn't going towards retirement.
Right.
You're losing time, and we already discussed that.
I'm not sure a lot of people understand how that's paid back. Either. I mean, it's paid back because you're taking less check home. Your paycheck's going to be small.
It's less
or
going to your
you're
retirement.
Saving less to your retirement.
You're saving less to your retirement.
Or what happens in most scenarios that I've seen is it doesn't get paid back. Somebody will change jobs or retire, and they haven't paid that loan back, and what happens. If
it's not paid back, it's straight taxable income.
Taxable, especially if you're under the age of
59 and a half.
You could pay up to 40 and 50%.
It's ridiculous, depending on your income bracket. So those are some lies that people tell each other, things that we see. I know we've covered. We could talk the rest of the day.
Right. In fact, there's 2 or 3 more on our newsletter, but we don't want to run this show for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
But I strongly urge you to go check that out. The latest newsletter we have, and if for some reason you can't find it, shoot us an email. We'll get you in touch. We'll put you in touch with it. Yeah. But
to find out more about us, you can go on our website at www.seretirementplanners.com. We're located here in Hickory at Moretz Mills, but 828-855-2067. You can get in touch with us. If we don't answer our staff, you can find the voicemail. If it's after hours, we'll line you up with someone to talk to. And anytime someone comes on or is referred to us or coming to us the first time, we encourage you to look through our website, get to know us better, call in, and we offer everyone a complimentary financial checkup is what we call it. Right. So a time to sit down together, get to know each other, and we assess one situation. So hopefully you've enjoyed today. I know I enjoyed catching up and talking about these items, things that we think is very important. So
I think it's been good, and I hope everybody's had some takeaways. And don't let your boys beat up on you on the golf course.
Yeah, and enjoy your baseball game.
I will. I will.
Thank you.
See you.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member of FINRA, SIPC. Southeast Retirement Planners is not affiliated with LPL Financial or registered as a broker-dealer or investment advisor.